three. DeRozan for three. Good! At the bottom of the well.
LeBron goes to the basket, reverse dunk. Oh, first 30 seconds left. LeBron turnaround jumper. He ties this game at 105. Cavaliers battle all the way back and force an extra 5 minutes here in game one. LeBron, he'll peek for him, fire the three. He knocks it down. LeBron off the chest, open for a three. He nails it. Van Vliet fires the three. Dropped by Thompson, and this game is over. The Cavaliers have played game one.
The Raptors led for the entire game and still lost game one to the Cavs in overtime. We're joined by Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris. Good morning.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Was last night more about the Cavs or the Raptors?
Raptors. The Raptors, they couldn't beat Big Brother. They outplayed them all game, and when it got time to shut the door, close the deal, beat your dad for the first time ever, they just couldn't do it. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. You missed your last 11 shots, including 3 at the rim. Now, contested, look, no doubt, contested, but Valanciunas, he missed a lot of little gimmies, but still, you got to convert that. And then I even can go to with 2.5 minutes left, and they call a timeout, and then you get a 5-second call out of a timeout.
You did?
Like, that stuff is, to me, that's just mental. And they couldn't get over the hump. LeBron, I think, is in their head. They're not ready for prime time. This is what I expected. Cavs in 6, I said. Toronto is a great regular season team because they play hard. They're well coached. They've got good talent, but they don't have superstars. And at this time of year, for the most part, barring a few outliers here and there, you need superstars to win.
Multiple.
And they don't have it.
Multiple.
They even reached for a new closer, a former undrafted free agent named Fred Van Vliet, who hurt his shoulder so badly last night he had to sit for a while with the big ice pack, and they still put him in to take the 2 biggest shots of the game into regulation, end of overtime, and he missed both of them. They're hoping, well, maybe if DeMar can't do it and Kyle can't do it, maybe Van Vliet can do it against Big Brother, and he couldn't do it.
No, it was.
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a guy have 2 all-stars, and you let a guy that's a role player take the last 2 shots, one in overtime and one in regulation. Hey, that's their team. It's been working so far. Hey, have no problem with that. I agree. It's more about the baby dinosaurs. They don't believe they can beat LeBron James, and as you mentioned, they tried to shut the door, and LeBron stuck his foot in there. Tell me what y'all doing in there. You know, you be playing around.
I'm not sure even LeBron stuck his foot. I just think they stepped on their own feet. They shot themselves in the foot.
But here's the thing moving forward. LeBron got 87 points of support last night. He averaged 60 in Indiana. So was this an anomaly, an outlier, or this a sign of things to come? Do we think we're going to see this from?
I hope it was.
Well, if it is,
I hope it's a sign of things.
Well,
to come. If it is, they will sweep.
They will sweep them. If
it is, they will also win the conference finals pretty handily.
Right. If the role play, because look, you and I both, everybody knows at this table, the likelihood of LeBron James shooting 40% again is not very good.
No.
But if you're going to...
In fact, it just won't happen.
If you let LeBron James be efficient as he normally is, be it regular season or postseason, and he's going to get this kind of production from his supporting cast, no one in the Eastern Conference is beating him.
Here's the thing. JR, you just can't count on. I mean, he had 20 last night. He might have 20 for the rest of the series.
Like 5 out of 6 threes.
He was great. I mean, when he plays that way, I really like the Cavs. Kyle Korver has been very good in these playoffs, but I'm not going to count on him for 19 tonight. Like, who can I point to? Tristan has been great the last 2 games, but am I getting that out of him every night? And Kevin Love's just been very disappointing. Like, I hate to say it, I don't think I can count on this from the Cavs every night, and that's going to be the problem. But LeBron, to your point, he was worn down, I think, yesterday. And if I were the Cavs in game 2, I would seriously think about maybe playing him about 35 minutes. And if we lose, we lose. But, I mean, try to make those minutes count.
Right.
But I want to get him rested because I don't think he was himself. He still was really good, but he wasn't quite himself yesterday.
Shannon Sharp, what did I predict before this series started? What did I predict?
You said the Cavs would sweep The baby
said
dinosaur.
sweet.
I said sweet.
Yep.
He laughed at me and he said I had a hidden agenda. I'm trying to put more pressure on LeBron. I'm not. I told you I don't respect the Raptors. In fact, in my head last night, I always think of them, you know, the Lone Ranger and Tonto,
I
right?
do.
It's like LeBron's the Lone Ranger and they're the Tonto Raptors. That's how they come across. Seriously, they're the Tonto Raptors because they're just Tonto to the Lone Ranger.
Right.
But they have been. That's now 9 out of 11 games that LeBron has beaten him in the postseason. And again, I bring up this stat that Toronto, this great regular season dynamo, is now in its last 12 game ones of playoff series. They're 1-11 and they're 1-7 in their last 8 at home. That's horrendously bad.
Awful.
It's what Peyton Manning used to not be able to do in Indy when he would have the top seed or the second seed in the playoff tournament, and then they would fall out in the first round. So that's the equivalent of this. But Peyton, to his credit, finally broke through and won 2 Super Bowls. And I'm not sure this team is going to break through and do anything. Because if you can't on this night, in which LeBron goes 1 for 6 from the free throw line and 1 for 8 from 3, and he goes 3 for 15 in the fourth quarter in overtime. And there were times in the overtime where I picked Cleveland to win last night, so I'm rooting for LeBron, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? You know, like, just dribble. They ISO him, you know, he dribbled.
Play at the end of regulation.
It was just terrible.
That was
what are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing? So the door isn't just open, it's swung as wide open as you can swing it.
Just walk through it.
And they couldn't do it. And then the flurry, it just summed up the Toronto Raptors at the end of regulation. They get 5 shots, starting with their new closer, Van Vliet. He misses the 3. And then DeRozan misses a pretty easy little tip that just lips out. And then C.J. Miles comes in and this tip. And then Valanciunas tips it. He airballs a tip. He knocks it completely over the rim to the other side. How can you do it? Any one of those falls, we're having a different conversation.
No.
Right?
And here's the thing. I think everything we're saying, I think is driven home even more so with the Raptors after last night. You came off a nice series win over the Wizards team that's essentially as talented as they are.
Yeah.
Great backcourt, too. You had the best record in the Eastern Conference. You're 30-1 at home when you lead after 3 quarters.
Right.
Cleveland's tired. Then all you said about LeBron not being at his best, and you still don't get it done. This is 3 straight times now that Cleveland's beaten them, counting the regular season with their new squad. This is over. This might be a sweep.
And Shannon, I got another prediction.
What?
Game 2, I believe you're going to see an appearance made by Jordan Clarkson and Rodney Hood, who have not shown up yet.
No.
And by the way, Larry Nance Jr. didn't even see the light of play last night.
Yeah, he should. What he been playing.
Right? But Tristan Thompson
T, that's my guy.
He's playing like that guy used to play in the finals.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty good. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's a star, but he's high energy. He's sly smart. He plays the angles. He's Rodman-esque, and he can. Listen, that play he made with 2 minutes left in overtime, LeBron had to shoot a crazy shot at the end of the clock and air balls, and Tristan goes and tracks it down and spins in the lane and makes a left-handed hook.
Yep.
Do you know how hard that shot is over Valanciunas?
If you notice the Cavs, though, when the rubber needs to meet the road.
Watch it. LeBron misses the air ball. Tristan, look at this spin. How hard is that shot?
That's a nice move.
And do you realize those were the winning points in the game? That got him to 113, and that stood up. Go ahead.
If you notice, when the rubber needs to meet the road, LeBron James is going to ride with his guys. Give me Tristan. Give me JR.
Sure.
Give me Kyle Korver. Give me Kevin Love. Now, they subbed Kevin Love out on the last play for Jeff Green because they needed defense, and Jeff did a great job. But LeBron is a guy that I know what these guys are supposed to be able to do, but I know what these guys have done. And as long as he has confidence, he says, hey, I trust the guys. The guys just miss shots because it's easy to get frustrated. If I couldn't be LeBron because make the shot. You got one job. Make the shot, Kevin Love. Make the shot, JR.
LeBron has been more complimentary of these teammates in the last, 2 months, maybe since the trade, than I've seen him. Not that he's always been bad, but there's times where, you can tell he's like, man, look, these dudes got to step up or I need help or something. Right. But he's been nothing like that. I don't know if he's reading what
he said, I'm not throwing nobody. Y'all know. He said, y'all know me better than that. I ain't throwing my teammates under the bus.
I see you wearing the Cavs team suit. Is that?
That old Tom.
That's the suits they wear today.
You see the how I want to pants? Like old Tom, right? Old Tom.
Theirs are up to about here.
Yeah.
They went a little too
You need
high.
to go with the white shirt, though.
A white shirt?
white shirt
Okay,
and the sweater.
I'm next week. Next week, I'm coming.
Did Bron send that to you?
People be think I be showing favoritism to Bron
Oh,
up here.
yeah.
I don't do that. I'm rejected right down the middle.
Wait, aren't you the same guy who picked against LeBron last night?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah, I was shocked at that.
interesting.
Because
He didn't like that.
I was looking pretty good after the first quarter, huh? And then who knew that the Toronto was going to give up 38 second quarter points to let the Cavs back in it? And that's what happens when you got the baby dinosaurs. They got to close the door, Skip. You get a team down like that because we've seen. You remember the first time Cleveland goes to Toronto, they get down early, and the next thing you know, it's 38. It's down by 30 before the half, and LeBron just chilling the rest of the game. So
you know what else? LeBron, even though he wasn't at his best, he guarded Kyle Lowry in the fourth and overtime and held him to 3 points.
Good.
Like
Good.
he still look. He didn't shoot well, and obviously he was horrible from the free throw line. But he didn't play. I mean, he played a good game.
He still gave you 13 to 11,
and he hit the big shot.
That's what I keep telling you, Skip. What LeBron James' value is just not. A lot of people, if they don't score, that's all the value they can add. Some people, if they don't rebound, that's all the value they can add. But my guy, I keep telling you for stretches, he can sit in that chair for a hot sec. As Kyle Lowry.
Well, I kept telling you in the previous series, take Oladipo for a stretch.
He did.
Just take it.
He did.
Just try to take him out of the game.
And Depot couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Got Depot go. He working out right now, so he want to get close to LeBron.
He's not ever going to get close.
Whoa! So what you saying about Bron? Because everybody say he's a top 3 player right now.
Yeah.
That's what everybody be saying.
Well, I just say he's 3 and 5 in the finals, but that's all.
Say whatever you want to. He's still gonna be on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
He coming to the right.
He's still got to wait.
There is, and I'm not in this camp, but there does seem to be a growing group of people saying he's the GOAT now. I think that's growing. I don't know. I'm looking on Twitter, and I'm getting, and I don't say that.
But Bert's mistake.
Whatever. Oh, like you ain't on your Twitter.
I love Twitter, but I don't take what they say on Twitter.
No, I'm just saying, though, more and more people are starting to say that.
More and more people.
Just random folks.
Just people who follow you.
I don't know, maybe a lot of people from Akron and suburban Cleveland or something.
Yeah,
wait a second.
I feel like that sentiment is growing. I don't agree.
Last night he was the lowercase GOAT, like G-O-A-T, GOAT of the game.
He did. Think about it. We're talking about a man that shot 40% and had a triple-double. You voted for a guy to win MVP last year, shooting 42% every game. This man had one game like that.
Shannon, if he
For most
just
guys,
made
that's
3
a
more
good
free
game.
throws, we'd have a whole nother conversation because it would have been over much sooner than it was over.
What?
He shot 1 for 6 from the free throw.
You ain't say nothing about that night he shot 15 for 15, and then he
said I
scored
gave him props.
Well, he's going to have to change his style again.
He's going to come back to the mean. Because he was great, 82% against Indiana, but it's coming back to 72, 73%.
Once he gets into a rhythm of making them, he gonna make them. But if he
gotta
miss a couple early,
you know what? The ref got in his head. He finally called him for stepping over the line. You can't do that. He's going to have to go back to Kyle Korver and say, let's go to routine number 569.
As long as the ball go in.
Yeah.
Clutch. You see that clutch turnaround jumper from 15?
That was a good one.
It's easy for it to go in when you're 2 feet over the line.
I just hope the Cavs don't take their foot off the gas. Because
they
have a tendency.
I want LeBron to play big minutes and play hard in game 2 and get this over with.
I would hate that. Because, get rid of him, get your rest. Because the other series is going to be long, I think.
They'll have plenty of rest. It's going to be a nice little sweep.
All right. Look at you pulling for LeBron.
No, she ain't
I'm not
pulling.
pulling. I'm just.
Her team's gone.
That's just facts.
Her team had a cup of coffee. Her team had a cup of coffee. They like this.
She's not surprised.
Did you hear what Pat Riley said about their center?
Credit than that.
Did you see what he said about Whiteside?
Thanks for joining us.
I don't know how Whiteside go back there.
Does Drake need to tone it down in Toronto? We'll discuss that next.
He don't want it.